Every time I try to move on from the Justin Baldoni Blake Lively lawsuit, people keep asking me if I've changed my mind. And honestly, no, I haven't since August. I've talked about this before, back when the whole It Ends With Us drama first blew up, and even as more lawsuits and updates have dropped, nothing has changed my opinion. So in this video, I want to break it all down, what happened, why the internet's reaction has been so weird about this, and why I don't think any of Justin's lawsuits have actually addressed the core of Blake's allegations. Also, I do want to talk about the astroturfing allegations and the weird things that creators like me have been seeing. So let's get into it. If you've been living under a rock, It Ends With Us is a Colleen Hoover book about domestic violence. It's very popular on Book Talk, but we need to be real about it too. It's not exactly a sensitive portrayal of the topic. Blake Lively was cast as the lead and executive producer, with Justin Baldoni directing. The movie was already controversial. People have been side-eyeing it for a little bit, questioning the casting, criticizing the marketing. And look, the marketing was bad. It was all about empowerment, grab your girls, grab your florals, which really felt tone deaf for a movie about domestic violence. And to make things worse, Blake Lively started to launch her own hair care line at the same time. So from the get-go, people just saw this as being pretty cringy and in bad taste, and the backlash just kept growing. Then things got weird. Some TikTok creators and some mutuals of mine noticed that Justin really wasn't doing press with the cast, wasn't in the premiere photos, and seemed completely separated from the project. Meanwhile, the cast was completely avoiding talking about him, and everyone unfollowed him on social media. So the internet did what it does best and went into full conspiracy mode. People compared it to the Don't Worry Darlings drama, where we still don't know what happened between Olivia Wilde, Florence Pugh, and Harry Styles. But at this point, there were whispers about something bigger going on, that this wasn't just fun drama, that there was actually serious allegations involved. And we all started to caution, hey, let's pump the brakes here and not jump to any conclusions, because something else seems to be going on here. You don't normally see this much drama over a disagreement about marketing. There has to be something else going on. But that's not really what the internet's known for, is it? And instead, the internet jumped to conclusions. Suddenly, Blake was being ripped apart everywhere. There were viral TikToks about how she was stealing the movie from Justin. An interview clip with a Norwegian reporter, Kjersti Fla, was circulated that really did make her look pretty rude. And then there were allegations that her husband, Ryan Reynolds, had been rewriting scenes during the writer's strike, which would make him a scab. It just became so massive out of nowhere. It started out in a niche corner of Book Talk and then became a front page story, with major news outlets running stories like, why does everybody hate Blake Lively all of a sudden? It was absolutely wild. And by the end of August, Blake's career had taken a major hit. We know now that she had to cancel an appearance on Saturday Night Live because of the backlash, and it just felt like the internet dogpiled her, and for what? Flash forward to just a few weeks ago in December, and we finally got some answers, with Blake filing a complaint alleging that she had faced sexual harassment on set. I'm not going to go into all of them, also because I'm still learning the YouTube censorship issues, but basically she also claimed that there was a smear campaign against her after she reported it, including planted stories calling her difficult and allegations of astroturfing. And not only that, but the New York Times seemingly co-signed her allegations as well by publishing an investigative piece about the whole thing. So after all of that, for a moment, the internet seemed to have sort of a reckoning. People started reflecting on how quickly they turn on Blake, wondering if they had been manipulated. But then Justin countersued both the New York Times and Blake, and of course, the narrative flipped again. Here's the thing though, when Justin first filed his lawsuits, I thought we were going to get some bombshell evidence. Instead, it's 170 pages of nothing. He accuses Blake of being annoying, letting Ryan Reynolds rewrite the script, conspiring with Taylor Swift to take over the movie, but none of this actually addresses her allegations of harassment. It's all about discrediting her as a person, not disproving what she's actually claiming. And this is usually the point where people say I'm either bought out by Blake, that I'm anti-Justin, that I'm a raging feminist, and I am guilty of the last one. But the thing is, this isn't new. We've seen this a million times. When women speak out about harassment, they're immediately labeled as crazy or difficult, or that they were nice to them once, so they must have been okay with it. And I went in with an open mind to both of Justin's lawsuits, expecting anything to be responding to her allegations, and really found nothing. And if there's 170 pages there, all just trying to discredit the person instead of actually addressing what they're claiming, that should immediately raise some red flags, because we know the narratives and dynamics that happen when it comes to sexual harassment allegations. And here's the other thing. Smear campaigns work, because they take small truths, like that maybe Blake was annoying, and use them to discredit everything she's saying. But being annoying doesn't mean you weren't being harassed, and unfortunately for Justin, nothing I'm seeing in his lawsuits changed that. Now let's talk about TikTok, because by the time this is posted, it might not even exist anymore, we'll see. But Blake's lawsuit mentions astroturfing, and as a creator, I can say that I noticed suspicious activity specifically around this case. So when I've posted about this, I've gotten comments that were word for word the same from different accounts. Some of those comments immediately got 20 plus likes within seconds. One of my videos got over 200,000 views within the first night. It was insane. But when I checked my analytics, only a tiny fraction of those were qualified views. And I'm not alone. I talked with many other creators who saw very similar trends. But at the end of the day, I don't like somebody coming into my comment section and trying to manipulate the conversation. I don't like people trying to weaponize me or my audience against anybody. So this whole thing has just really pissed me off, and it makes me not even want to engage in it anymore because I don't know how much of it is real. Here's what I think. Smear campaigns work because they manipulate our biases. Blake can be annoying. She can market the movie badly, but none of that changes whether or not her allegations are true. And we need to be smarter about how we engage with these stories, especially when they involve women speaking out about harassment, and especially when there's allegations of astroturfing. At the end of the day, I don't really care whose side you're on. I'm not going to keep posting updates about this every time there's a new lawsuit, like some creators who have absolutely no credibility who are using this to boost their accounts. What I do care about is logic and critical thinking. So let me know what you think. If you've changed your mind during this process, what changed your mind? And what do you think about the internet's reaction to this whole thing?